Hello, hello, I am Rangaroo.
And I'm Graham.
We're today have another 1v1 from the Wargame Bootcamp District Elite Tournament. This is one of the matches from the finals, where a nuclear intra is coming. Who is here today, Graham?
So, Rang, on the right-hand side, we have Krot playing East German Mechanized, which you know is hot. And then on the left, we have Greyhound playing as Eurocorps General. So kind of a half Civil War.
Throwing in the French as well to help out as well. It's kind of like a Franco-Prussian war in the 80s, or 90s, I
The
guess.
the East Germans have obviously just pushed so far that the French had to come help the West Germans out.
Yes!
Obviously, they're marching on the Rhine right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stop the DDR boys.
Indeed, but looking at its initial deployment, we got a little bit of a Delta helicopter push here, getting ATGMs as well as regular infantry. That's actually quite a bit of a heavy investment, not heavy investment, large rise in using heliborne based infantry, especially for a
Yeah,
general deck.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's something to look out for as the game goes on against basically the infinite horde of moat shoots and other infantry that Krot will have. But these Panthers with the Cassiopeia they're protecting it are going to be able to get down here into Alpha rank, which could be pretty annoying for Krot.
That's a really good position, and especially just I do like he's also just using Milan F runs as a
Yeah,
cheap. You know, I really like cheap ATGMs, Graham.
I
And
never
being
knew
able
that.
to, I know it's just a little fact about me. Just being able to slap them, yeah, they can do some insurgency work of blowing up a transport or two, and then they die, which is inevitable.
The inevitable course of action.
Yes.
But I like certain chibi ATGMs. Factoria, obviously, I think is just best ATGM in game, right? So it is interesting here. We do see Krot as kind of pushing Delta and trying to clear out the Alpha push. But I kind of just noticed this really rang down south. Greyhound is a pretty heavy investment here. There's a 2A4, AMX NRC, some reservists pushing up there as well, and a rolling through protected. He's going to push Foxtrot.
Yeah, it is quite a heavy push, and I do like his because you can really catch people off guard by trying to push one of the southern 2 pointers. The question is, will he be able to get in here? He needs some fire support because his
Yeah.
reserves are kind of, well, on.
Yeah, they're moving forward right there. That's probably not what they were promised. But, there they go with their Moss 49s trying to take this town here. Some nice fire support from the Panther, but it does go down to the autocan, the BMP2 here. And he's going to need to get the Leopard involved. But honestly, the 2A4 needs to be careful. There is a Conquers team in this
Ooh.
forest line. And if it can get some shots on that 2A4, it could quickly change his push.
And in the Panthers as well, relocate down south, where we tried some much needed fire support. We're seeing a Strela 10 also being invested, as well as a CV for Fox right now. I think, oh, Krot definitely has a decent amount of infantry to hold us off.
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers could prove decisive here with no Strela up here yet, but it keeps going into range of the BMP2, and it will go down right here. I mean, the rockets on it are awesome. Oh, no, it gets
Oh!
saved there by the Commando Para with the LRAC. Actually, really big move. Same time, Rang, there is a push going into Alpha right now as Krot tries to clear up the Fallschirmjäger that have taken over his 2-point sector up there.
That is quite a good little push here of the Fallschirmjägers, but all that mod shooting will be more than enough to clear that out. Of course, East Germany having some of the absolute best infantry in the game. Yeah, that's pretty much be a clear out here for Krot.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and push all this out here. The Fallschirmjäger, take a little bit of a toll, but most shoot center is just so good, especially cost-effective wise. And we see them clearing out that, elite infantry there for Greyhound. Panthers are still causing a little bit of havoc down south, but I think this push is probably over here as soon
You
as he
want
puts
to
up a little more
just
mode shoot center.
interrupt Looking Goof.
Oh, yeah. So that SP40 made a bold move. I'm sure. Will the Peace Run kill it? Oh, no, the Peace Run back. Can see
Oh,
that.
he's buggering off. That would honestly be a very good target for the Peace Shrine right now. Oh, he got the Fuchs Milan here, yo. That
Yeah,
should be enough.
well, is it in like the minimum? Because there is a minimum range, right, for ATGMs even in
Believe
Red
so.
Dragon, isn't it? I don't think stuff almost never gets within that, but I do think that's actually a thing. Look at it right on top of the CV.
They don't even have a single, like, AT weapon, so they just have to use small arms. It's not even like Steel Division where they get grenades.
No, no, it's not. They're just trying to shoot that MG. That MG3 is trying to really carry the load right now. Whereas down south, we do see the Commandos pair. We're actually able to get into the northern most town there in Foxtrot And Cassiope is actually making a move into Echo. We'll see the MiG-29 should see it here. Yeah, in the Polish, or the Eastern MiG-29 should go ahead and take that out.
Gonna be an easy kill if he can bloody
Nope.
hit the thing.
Nope, 2 R-73s missed right away there. Is this, what is this, Warno?
I know.
Making a bold move right there.
Flying around the map. Really get a hit this time.
He does, but it lives. I like how we all just get fixated every time there's a helicopter moving near someone's base. It's like all eyes of, and the MiG-23 gets it just, no problem.
Gonna save another CV. I wonder if he spotted the fob at least, because fob spotting is a pretty popular meta right now in Wargame. Because you can just snipe the fob immediately and deny supplies. We've seen that in a few matches, I believe, before.
Yeah, it can be really annoying when it happens against you. Or happens to you.
The SP-40 is still alive, and there's an AMX-10, like, here. He just can't deal with it.
No, he can't see it, and then, okay, now now he does. Yeah, and there it goes. The CV games between the Greyhound and Krot come to an end right there, but that was really funny. Hopefully the viewers are going to enjoy that. But we see here Krot's the game's kind of weird, but it looks like it's stabilizing and slowing down a little bit. Krot did have to buy an extra fighter, which he probably doesn't appreciate. But I think he'll be able to counterattack here pretty soon into Foxtrot to evict that little toehold that Greyhound has.
Yeah, Greyhound really needs to, I think, beef up his defensive Foxtrot. He's not doing great in the center, and just being able to hold a sort of town complex in Foxtrot, I don't think he's going to completely capture the point, but just enough to hold it for getting a CV in to neutralize, and we're seeing F4 come in, shoots down the East German plane.
Oh, the Tory wasn't able to get a shot. I thought he might be able to get a shot on the F4F, yeah. MiG-23 is do you call it another one? Wasn't looking. I was over there watching as the T-72 M1 just did battle with the one reservist as the moat shoots in, trying to take the town. And so he actually needs to be careful because there's Legion 90 for there in Charlie. But honestly, I kind of like Krot's position here in the center. If he can reinforce that a little bit, obviously get Alpha Cap to stop the 2-point bleed, he's got a good little foothold already by taking that central town.
Yeah, and also just with the mod shooting as well. And he definitely has Legion 90 behind enemy lines.
Yeah, he's yeah, they went over there on that far side, and I thought he was going to clean up with the moat shoots in, but I think he missed them. So they will go down in the forest here, but they did take out another infantry squad and it's transport, I believe. So it's not like they haven't paid for themselves. But losing Legion 90 it does hurt a little bit.
Indeed, it does.
Oh, the other one's going to go down here. The moat shoots and catches them out in the open. Oh, maybe he'll survive on 1 HP here. Both infantry units. Oh, and the moat shoots and do get it.
Manson to back off in a nick of time before the auto-loader AMXs completely annihilate him.
It's actually kind of painful when you're Eurocore, because you only get one card of Legion 90s, so you're pretty limited on what you can do, how many of them you can put out on the map, and losing 2 cards like that back-to-back is actually pretty painful.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be... I mean, they are good anti-infantry as well, but it's mainly like the anti-tank is what makes them extremely good.
Yeah, that's their big...
Unfortunately, against East Germany, he should have enough anti-tank capabilities.
Raymond, do you not remember our previous cast where we saw the armored firepower of East German mechanized on full display?
You're getting close to those T-72s, and
it could be a game changer.
It definitely.
I mean, we've already seen how the 2A1 versus T-72 S1 plays out. We have a video on the channel.
You do. We'll have to see if Laboratory 4 can step up to the plate. He's just kind of chilling in Foxtrot here.
Yeah, he's big chilling. He's big chilling right now. Kind of like most of the units on the map right there. They're big chilling. This F4F is up there covering... well, the ASF is there covering for the peace run. There is the Eastern MiG-29 chilling in the back there. I don't think Krot's... He's not really willing to risk an engagement right there. But he does have a MiG-23 ML. So if he brings that... when that's back online, excuse me, if I could speak, he should be able to get a little bit of an air engagement.
Indeed. Also, Greyhound is actually... I don't think he's doing great in terms of map control. Doing great in terms of points. We're just almost 10 minutes into the match, and he's almost up 200 points, which is a pretty big lead at this point.
Yeah, and there they go. Here's what I thought here. The MiG-23 ML was brought out, but Greyhound was able to kind of identify that that threat was there, so he evexed, and they're not able to get any damage. So... That was a really hot action right there. I was hoping to see some MiG-29, MiG-23 versus Phantom, fold a gap situation, and we were denied that.
Honestly, a travesty.
It's Greyhound's fault.
God damn it, Greyhound. And now look at him. He's buying another CV. This time to try and neutralize Foxtrot. I do like, because that will give him, well, the continuous point advantage. I believe if Delta gets captured as well, that would mean he'll be getting a +1.
You have a +1 nonstop.
Yeah, his best bet is probably just try to play the scoreboard right now. Because I don't feel like he's going to be able to, like, hold up north for the majority of the match. It's just a huge build-up here of... Well, it's a bit spread out of East German forces.
Oh, the, was that the... Yeah, one of the half-track... Was it the half-track AA piece? Yeah. AMX-10 RC in the water, because it is amphibious, which is just crazy. You never see that happening, getting sniped there by the bridge.
I completely forgot. I didn't even know that thing was amphibious, actually. That's...
Yeah, it's a... Most people don't know that.
This is like the closest I think the game will ever get to having, like, naval combat.
Oh, what do you mean? Wargame Red Dragon doesn't have naval combat?
It doesn't have naval combat. I mean, have amphibious units.
I feel lied to.
Pretty cool.
I thought they were ships.
I thought so too, but I never see anyone playing with them, so I don't know what's going on.
It's all a mirage. So we do see Greyhound is bringing up, as you said, the CV with more infantry as well. There's a VAB, so probably Legion in there, Martyr 2 coming up, so some Panzergrins. And I'm surprised, Rain, that Krot actually hasn't made a real push to evict that infantry in the northern portion of his town. There wasn't a lot in there earlier on, and now this is becoming a more substantial force that's going to be able to actually fight here in Foxtrot.
Yeah, and that Laboratory 4 is still, you know, a deadly consideration if he tries to move up anything out in the open. At the same time, you know, T-72s up close, as we've seen before, can contend with it quite effectively. But he really sort of tried to nip us in the bud probably a bit sooner.
Yeah, I think so too. There was an opportunity where he really could have just overwhelmed for minimal costs, especially when you consider what Moat Schutzen actually cost, right? A mortar, some Moat Schutzen would have evicted that whole area. The 2A4 would have had it back out. Instead of the current situation where he's going to go ahead and get a CV, infantry CV in here. While at the same time, he also has air superiority fighters up. He does have a Peace Ryan in case there's any, you know, heavier tank push. And Krot now recognizes this danger here, but this +1 could decide the game the longer it goes on.
Indeed. AMX-10 RC behind enemy lines, he is gonna get found out by the Hind.
Yeah, big rip.
Yeah, big rip indeed.
Everyone pour one out for the AMX-10 right there, who, you know, showed off the full range of his capabilities, but his backline shenanigans come to an end right there as the Hind gets a nice little kill there.
Indeed. Yeah, this is really just kind of petered off now after the initial craziness of putting off this match. I mean, up north, both sides are really just setting up defenses. There's a decent amount of AMX 1390s all over the place and reserve troops. I'm thinking Greyhound might be able to get a foothold back in the Delta at least, as that forest on the left hand on the point is currently not occupied. And being able to... Well,
I would like to avert your attention to Charlie and look at the AMX 13 motor pool that's being built up. They
were like... That's... I think the reserves are gonna go... I do like gonna go a bit of a trip. I do like how he has like a bunch of empty runs as well, tracked as decoys. You could say it's a ruse.
Wow.
I know.
It's a ruse. We're really getting into the Eugen system lore here today.
Mm-hmm.
All we need now is some acts of aggression.
Someone attack! Come on.
Yeah, they both have been playing a little passive here lately, and so we do see them kind of eyeing each other down. Which is, I mean, if you're Krot though, you have to evict Foxtrot, right? Like that has to be your #1 goal. But we're really not seeing anything that, at least overtly, it looks like to me that he's getting ready to do that.
Oh, he's just kind of happy with chilling right now. He's seems like investing more in support units. He's got another. Is that another
one of the fighters went down.
Oh.
The Tor and the Strela were able to kind of little tag team combo right there and get a kill. I think it was one of the KWS, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that though. But that does go down. And I kind of think, Rang, if you're Greyhound, you might as well just get ready to take over a portion in Delta as well. Like, if Krot wants to go ahead and focus all of his resources on taking Foxtrot, you delay him as long as possible. Then you go ahead, put a CV in Delta, and you continue to torment him with a +1 tick.
Yeah, he can just continue to play the scoreboard extremely efficiently, and he's doing a very good job of that right now. He doesn't really have that much of, like, it doesn't feel like he has, like, much fences really anywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
Down south, yeah.
Besides the horde of AMX 13s, which obviously I don't know what more you need to defend your units, Rangru, so I really think you should check yourself on that one. But yeah, overall, it seems like Greyhound's really content to play the scoreboard game, and he might as well be. I mean, Krot let him get a 200-point lead in 10 minutes of the game. So, and when that happens, you might as well just play for the scoreboard. Don't do anything crazy to blow it.
Just nice and steady. You're already seeing some reserves are just checking out Delta to make sure there's nothing there, and surprisingly there is.
I think action's about to happen. Yeah, action is going down. Krot's taking these 5 minutes of doing nothing to buy a bunch of planes. And here they come. 2 MiG-25s, MiG-23 cluster going in. We'll see if the cluster can get a good shot here on this 2A4. That would be big in his counterattack. He does. It goes 1 HP, and the MiG-10 goes down. Really big bombs. CV is still alive, though, and so is some of the reservists and the Milan F1.
Yep, he's in a T-72, but not really a whole lot else. I feel like you'd have like a few more shooting squads mounted up, ready to just rush on through. As it is going to give Greyhound time to recalibrate, move up the 2A1, get the Panzer mortar firing.
Yeah, so he's going to engage here. There's a little bit of moat shoots in, but like you said, Rang, there's not a lot, and they're already getting gunned down here in the open. Martyr 2 as well, even joining on the action right there. The smoke, funny enough, I think it saved them initially from death. Greyhound's own smoke. They have some, I guess the moat shoots have infiltrated their lines there. But the Panther even diving in as well. And this push is already over.
Yeah, it's done. He just... If he maybe been able to rush in some infantry immediately, but even then, just having the reserve Leopard 2 helped out a bunch.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like a very weird push there from Krot. MiG-23B in, it's going to go ahead and probably go down here. Rolling 3 gets a nice hit. But still on 1 HP. Yeah, it's going to go down. Yep. F4F comes in. Oh, now you see the AMRAAM. Yep, just annihilating that MiG-23 NNL right there. A decade behind the technology. Oh, and you see him pay the price.
The plane crashed and killed some Mochuchans.
That's a big L.
That's always the best thing when that happens in a Eugene game. I'm actually quite happy they even moderate. Oh, speaking of attacks, up north, the AMX-13 horde is choo-choo-chewing their way down the road.
Yeah, they definitely are. It's like a... There's no longer, it's like a rail track right here. And you just see, I've never seen so many, I think, in one spot. And there's a 2A4 even mixed in there. And so the 2A4 is moving in. The BN's also been committed. I don't know if he has one ready to go. Krot does. Actually, he has double MiG-25 up. What is he doing with them? They're dropping bombs, but... Oh my God, that's insane. So bombs drop everywhere. About half the AMX-13s do go down. But that Panther's going to go and probably clean up that Moat Shooting Squad. There is more infantry. And this is going to be super annoying, though. I have no idea if it'll actually be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to spread out these reserve troops all over the forest, or even if his push does fail, it's still going to be a pain in the ass to pick them off one by one. But you've got the AMX 1390s. I think I'm just going to try to get into a position before running out of fuel. And also just having these 2 Leopard 2s now is going to give his push a decent amount of backbone.
Yeah, and for a deck that really specializes in having infantry, it feels like Krot doesn't have a lot of it on the field. Because we see now these BP2s are coming up, and they're going to go and try and stem the tide here, along with the Mi-24. There is a Gepard nearby, if Graham can get it over there, with some heavy armor to back this up as well. I mean, this could be a game-winning move for Greyhound, right, or a game-sealing move for him. BP2's moving up to engage, but the 2A1 actually has sight on it. Oh, he misses, though, so they will live for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's not really a whole lot of anti-tank to do with these Leopard 2s either. The Mi-24 reset all its missiles, blowing up bloody AMX-13s. And now he just doesn't have enough infantry to... Well, he does have a decent amount of infantry actually now, if there's a bunch of reserves in the actual town. But still, it's going to be a deadly fight.
Yeah, and the Moat Shootin', you know, the one downside to the base one is that the RPG-7 isn't the greatest, right? With only 14 AP. So the 2A4s and the 2A1 can actually support the FG a little bit, even with the AMX-13 here. Now, one thing they really don't want is a side shot. But other than that, he can kind of, I think, he can really start to support these reservists. And I'm kind of surprised Greyhound isn't following up with maybe better infantry, right? Like a couple Panzergrams or something like that. That could really, I think, steal the deal and say he's buying a Caesar.
Oh. Oh,
Up on
wow.
the up by Charlie, which is nowhere near his his fob, which is surprising as well because it does not like that thing's loaded up with a bunch of ammo.
Oh, yeah, it is quite an interesting move. Maybe he's using it to route out infantry in Alpha. It's push and its momentum right now. You kind of
Yeah.
want to just be throwing dudes in the front.
Yeah, that's what I'd figure out too. Both players kind of making, some, unique decisions, I guess you could say, in the course of this game. It does feel like there's a missed opportunity from Greyhound because he does have a foothold in there, but they will eventually lose those moat shoots in some better infantry. I mean, Martyr 2s here against the moat shoots would do extremely well
Indeed.
with only the RPG 7. But I guess he's kind of content to just hold his little quadrant. He's taking a little sector and he's just gonna kind of chill.
Yeah, once again, Greyhound, he doesn't need to do anything too crazy. He just needs to play the scoreboard. He can 100% neutralize Alpha at least. And I'll be a +3 with how things are currently going. Heck, if he was to neutralize Delta, he'd be a +4.
Yeah, Krot's really on the back foot here. He doesn't have a lot of tools to kind of, really punish Greyhound anywhere on the map. The fact that Krot hasn't even attempted, a real attempt. Like that first push was more like a probe in Foxtrot. That's really costing him the game right now.
It really is. The Mi-24 is going to get blapped for being a bit too close to the front line, and the infantry, well, the Modchutans are just kind of spread out. You kind of want your Modchutans in a big pack of 40 just mowing through, I'd say, Western Europe, but we're really technically in Asia here.
Yeah, and this T-72, T-25 combo are going to push into this forest line here. Please be careful. So reservists do open up. They have the LRAC 73, which is kind of garbo, but I mean, for 14, it's 14 HP, which is the same as the boat shoots in. But the 2A1, 2A4 are a real big threat there. And that T-72 S1, this isn't Warner. There's no smoke launcher to cover his retreat right here as he tries to, run away from his West German brethren.
Yeah. And it really feels like, early on in the match, it felt like Krot had a decent amount of units, especially up north, to actually pressure Charlie a bit. But he has just not been trading efficiently.
No, and I think he launched a bombing run on Foxtrot, so the CV is now dead, but the damage has been done. A 300 plus point lead with 17 minutes remaining is almost insurmountable.
Yeah, you need like a +3, +4 starting now to really get a good chance of coming back, or just kill the CVs. It's an easy task.
Is it time for the tactical outplay to be deployed?
Yes, just a massive blob of MI8s and Mi-24s just flying around the map, picking off CVs one by one like a cheap slasher movie. Without any anti-air coming out at all, or any aircraft as well.
Yeah, we do see Krot. I actually have no idea what he's doing. So, Alpha is... The French reservists have taken it over. They are the tip of the spear.
They are. It's actually quite interesting to see them work so... very effective infantry because they're so cheap. AMX-13 is a fantastic 5-point transport. Really
That's their MG.
Expecting more of the bloody Modchuchan. Oh, it is, yeah.
But it's not like there's been a lot of moat shoots in there, though, right? Like, there was a couple... He's had, a 10 here, a 20 here, 10 here. But there's really not been a lot. And the fire support attached to them has been non-existent. Like, the T-72, T-55 went off and did their own thing. They said, we don't need infantry support. And we kind of see how that turned out for them. Whereas this T-72 M1 has been brought over from Delta, but it's kind of holding that back line there. I mean, really, Greyhound doesn't even need to push this town. If he could just plop a CV pretty much anywhere in this forest line and hold it for a couple minutes and it'd do the damage.
Indeed. In Foxtrot, things are starting to look a bit better for Krot. He did manage to kill the Leopard J4 again, a nice side shot.
Yeah, but really unfortunate for Krot. He does take down... or Krot actually loses his MiG-29 to the F4 and lost his MiG-25. So just really good exchange there in the air for Greyhound, and the rolling threes down there providing a little bit of support. I mean, the Martyr 2 is going to get more infantry back in here. The Panther's going to place that Milan team somewhere over there. Also, the Panther's just amazing fire support on its own. I mean, he's still going to be annoying in Foxtrot.
Indeed. It's quite impressive how he hasn't been able to, just clear on through Foxtrot. I think he's been investing a lot in those aircraft, because he just doesn't have, especially now, like a consolidated force anywhere. It's all, like you said earlier, like very spread out, just mod shooting here and there.
Yeah, a big thing too is like when you talk about the plane buy. When Krot bought those planes out for his initial bombing run on Foxtrot, he had a MiG-29, a MiG-23 ML, two MiG-23 BNs, and the two MiG-25s. Like that's an insane amount of income over a course of a game purely for planes that legitimately accomplish nothing.
We're seeing the Lapper 2 CV being snuck into Alpha here, and that
Yeah.
should bring it back to a nice plus run here for Greyhound.
Yeah, and he's also bringing up another infantry CV with the Panthers going to sneak it in there. I mean, he also killed one of the big 25s, so he probably feels pretty confident it's not going to get bombed. But it doesn't matter. With the CV and going into Alpha here, that's going to be the +1. Brings another one over here, get a +2, right? It's just it feels like Krot has kind of lost control of this game, and it's been that way for a while.
Yeah.
It's been a very weird one.
Yeah, it's been quite weird.
Unconventional.
Like very back and forth. I was really hoping for just mod shooting spam through Delta or Alpha, but I mean,
Krot denied the viewer what they really wanted to see here.
Yeah.
Oh, so we do have some armor action here. Leopard 2A1, Leopard 2S1 engaging. The 2S1 misses first shot. 2A1 makes it, connects with it. So Krot's gonna have to back up his armor. There's no mortar to provide smoke here or anything for it. And this time Greyhound is not gonna provide some friendly smoke for him for these East Germans. So yeah, the T-6 is gonna have to get out of there. That 2A1, I mean, honestly, he could push it up. There's nothing there to kill it.
Yeah.
I mean, the V, I guess, could do good damage if he gets a good shot with the 7V on the Alpha player.
Yeah.
Panzergren kind of holding strong right there. Yeah, I don't know what Krot does, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's just kind of buggered. We're seeing up north, the mod shootings are pushing through the forest, and see if decent fire support with the BMP1 spam as well. The reserve it are gonna get absolutely buggered.
It just feels like we need to see BMP1 spam 15 minutes ago.
Yep.
They're coming in now, but even here, the reservists, all you have to do is buy time. There's a smoke wall there that prevents the moat shoots in, so they're going to go in here. There actually isn't any infantry for Greyhound to cover his CV. The same X-13 will get some shots into these moat shoots in 90. Why you turn off everything but the RPG? I've never seen that. Normally you don't. That's interesting. Normally you don't see them turn off their actual their rifles.
He probably has them on attack moves. They only stop to shoot the RPGs instead of using their assault rifles.
Well, one squad did go down to the AMX-13 there. The other one does get into the force line, but yep, there's 3 tanks right there. And while he did get a shot into that Leopard 2 command tank, it's going to go down here to the 2A1s. The other one, I guess maybe he wants to charge in there after him, but I wouldn't recommend it, buddy. Yeah, honestly, very, it feels like Krot kind of got, the opening went pretty well for Greyhound, and after that, it was just, him holding on to an ever-increasing point lead.
Just did not manage, especially not getting those early CVs out. I mean, we do deride sometimes, like how you play 2 heavy CVs early on, and then you lose because you haven't been on the front line, but I think we saw a good opposite example of that, where if you don't do that, and he wasn't really being aggressive anywhere early on to like justify that sort of spending.
Right. Yeah, it just it was really weird, I think, handled from Krot. 2 of the best players in the game going out here in the finals, and it did feel just really weird. There was no decisive engagements anywhere. The airplay was also just, it felt like both players, I don't know, was it game 1, 2, 3, game 2. It just it didn't feel like East German Mech played the way you would think East German Mech would play. And didn't we cast Krot play East German Mech? Was it him?
I can't bloody remember, honestly.
Yeah, I remember either, because we had someone play it recently, and I thought it was a masterclass on how to play the deck. Like, it was really well executed against just a basic. Was it Eurocore as well?
I think it's Dutch German.
It was Dutch German. You're right. It was Dutch German. Yeah, which they're different, but some similarities. Right, half the deck is the same, but. Yeah, it just felt very weird, and the strengths of his deck were never able to actually be felt in the game.
Yeah, you just need mod shoot and spam with mortar smoke support, and there's really nothing that can stop you after that point.
Yeah, he never there was never any mass, and so then there was never a point where he was able to just grind out, Greyhound whatsoever. Greyhound was just kind of annoying in multiple different places, and he allowed the point tick, especially from the Foxtrot decap, to last so long that even if, let's say, he had gotten it together, I don't see how he wins the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good job there for Greyhound. He played the scoreboard, and the
Big
scoreboard
dub.
did him well.
Poor East Germany.
But yeah, next week we'll be casting another match from the finals as well, so
Ooh.
maybe Krot can bring it back a bit. Do you have anything else to say, Graham?
No, thank you for having me. It was enjoyable, and look forward to next week.
Play Jably, and thank you guys for watching. And as usual, please just take it easy.